Welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, now part of the All City Network. Hit the subscribe button for YouTube and also become a DLLS diehard at www.alldlls.com. Now here's Jeff and John. Hey, everybody, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. This is episode number 30. Today, we've got another Hub City Spartanburger is going to join us, Keith Jones the second, not Junior, the second. That's what he goes by. He's an outfielder. He's from New Mexico State, where he was drafted out of, but he's got kind of I can't wait to talk to him about a couple of things. He looks like coming out of high school. He started off at Washington State, I think, and ended up there. But we'll talk. He's actually and you know what? He's kind of burst on. He's having a good season. He's got 5 homers already. He's hitting close to 300. We'll talk about that in a little bit. First, guys, hit that subscribe button down there below. Go to DLLS, the DLLS YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button there. This is always brought to you during the summer like this, brought to you by AAA Round Rock, who's sponsoring us right now and doing that. And we totally appreciate that. I'm going to be in the Austin area next week. I may try to slide over. I don't know. We're going to figure out, do some discussion there because Kat and I have 3 days that we got to figure out what to do while Kevin's doing his orientation stuff. Sorry about the minor league recap. Jeff's the only one that knows this. I've got the kid graduating tomorrow. We got family members coming in-laws, everything. So my days have been filled with every evening. I like to sit down and watch all that, and I can't because I'm just doing stuff. You know how it is. When you got kids doing that. Okay, but first we got to talk about the big league staff, what's going on in the big leagues. And I know you guys, I've tried to jump in a little bit this week. And hey, guys, by the way, if you're not a diehard, let me talk about what being a diehard does. Now, first of all, Jeff's a full-time employee at DLLS, so he doesn't know what the diehards get. I know I do work with them and I get stuff, but I signed up to be a diehard. I got a free T-shirt. And what's the special they're running? It's pretty cool. They're like $29.
The special is over now.
It is.
Yeah.
Are they not doing the T-shirt anymore?
You get a free T-shirt when you become a diehard. Yes.
That was cool. Let me tell you what else you get. You get this little box. It's this very cool box. Your T-shirt comes in it. You get, those little stickers of diehard stickers. My back of my laptop's full of diehard and, of course, Longhorn stuff drives Jeff crazy. But I've got diehard stuff on there. You get this little card for your wallet. You're a DLLS member for any events that DLLS does. You get some discount on it. And doing stuff like that, it's pretty cool. It's like a little credit card thing you put in your wallet. It's a pretty neat little package just for signing up for all your sports coverage. Mavericks, Cowboys, Rangers, Stars, by the way, who are 1-0 in the Western Conference final right now. This is fantastic, man. These guys are going every night, and you guys did yesterday. You did the post game show after the Rangers lost again.
They did lose, yes.
Yeah. And it's time for me to vent. I know that I'm the one that I interact more with the fans than y'all, not because you don't interact. You just have so many followers. It's hard to keep up. I don't. So I can interact. And of course, every fan, we have those ones that are, CY needs to be fired, Bochy needs to retire, all that crap, which is just ridiculous. But there is some grumblings out there, and I'm starting to semi get on board on some of these grumblings. I've got opinions on it. Look, Corey Seager is the catalyst of the offense. Every time he's in this offense and every time he's going, this offense does perform better just because this guy earns every penny he has. I understand why the Rangers put him on the IL, and they're keeping him there. They've got to. You would not want this happening in August and September. You want this to happen now. Make him stay longer. If you're going to take lumps, take them now. But when a guy like that goes down on a World Series contender, other players have to step up. That's just the way championship teams do. And in this lineup, there are 2 guys right now who are failing. And I hate that because I love these guys, but Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia have got to do more, period.
Yeah, Jock Peterson too. I mean, there's
yes.
He was brought in as the big gun this offseason, free agent deal. He's making a pretty hefty chunk of money. And, he was the finishing piece, and he's hitting 127, I think.
Right.
Semien's he might have gotten above 180 yesterday.
He's at 187, I think, or 185.
Because he's put together a little hit streak here, but it's not good enough. And
No.
Adolis was dropped to 7th. Simeon's already been moved out of the leadoff spot to 5th. He probably shouldn't be the number 5 hitter, but I don't know where you put him. And then Peterson, he's a strict platoon player, so that will limit his exposure some. But he's just hurting the ball club, and you can't have those three bunched together. And I think that'll be it'll be interesting to see what the lineup looks like this weekend against the White Sox, against their right-handers, just to see who's batting 4, 5, 6. Is it going to be, is Peterson still going to be there in the middle of the lineup? Does he bat behind Berger and you drop Simeon to 6, but then you still have Garcia 7? So you've got the three of them together,
right?
And you can't have three guys who aren't producing together.
Exactly.
The Rangers didn't score a ton, obviously, against the Yankees. 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to avoid shutout in the opener. 3 solo homers. Tuesday, 10 hits though. They left the bases loaded in the 6th, especially glaring. And then yesterday, didn't get anything going at all, and just couldn't do anything against a guy. They made him throw 100 pitches, but Rodon, but they never really threatened against him. So it's
frustrating.
You can say it's a bad series. I mean, the weather was cold, and we've seen the Rangers play like crap in cold weather, but that's not good enough. It's time to get these guys going, and at some point, probably not too far off, some of these guys are going to have to start losing playing time. It's just, we're 51 games into the season.
Yep.
And, to have 3 guys in the lineup constantly making outs and bad swing decisions, whatever it is, it's going to come to a head at some point.
Well, here's where I give the credit. So look, where I give the credit for professionalism or whatever. You and I see these guys when we're around, especially when they're in town and we're there and we see them. It's very easy to let offense carry over to defense, and it hasn't for Adolis and it hasn't for Marcus. And listen, I can't stress this enough. Marcus Semien is the hardest working guy on this team. He's the first one out for infield. Corey Seager doesn't take infield with the team. Marcus Semien is the first one out for infield. He's the last one off the field for infield. He does not let his offensive woes. I think he realizes they pay me a lot of money. I can't be screwing up in the field too. And look at what Adolis has done out in right field and doing that. These guys are working their tails off. They're doing it. It's just not happening. And so, I've heard people say, well, what about moving Simeon to the 9 spot? Well, he's 22, 23 million a year. That's a lot for the 9-hole hitter, but he's also been an incredible 9-hole hitter with the speed he has, turning that lineup over and maybe not having the pressure of 5, 6, or 7 in there. Just to get, instead of sending him to the minor leagues, which they won't do and they can't do with him, maybe the 9-hole for a few days, like that reset they did with Berger, just takes the pressure off. And he, because once these guys get going, they get going, and they don't go through prolonged. But Jock seemed to look like he was trying to come out of it a little bit. The swings have looked better and the at-bats have looked better. Marcus looked lost. He's just sometimes, I know he's gotten the hits. He's got the blue pit. He's got no slug right now. He looks behind on pitches. And I think he's just up there. And I don't care what anyone says. You press when you feel like you've got to do more than you can do. You can press. This isn't Brett Boone's fault. It's not CY's fault. It's certainly not Bochy's fault. These guys, when coming into this season, after the offseason the Rangers had, everybody thought the Rangers upgraded their team immensely. The Berger trade, the Jock Peterson signing addressed needs they had with hitting fastballs. They re-signed Eovaldi. The rotation looked great. There were questions about the bullpen, but they knew how Bochy did it. Everyone either had the Rangers winning the West or at least making a wild card. I don't know anybody nationally that didn't have the Rangers at least in the playoffs, period.
Right. Yeah. No. And I mean, I hear everything you're saying, and it's not wrong. You kind of but the hard work thing. Simeon just believes in his routine so much.
Yep.
But the routine that might need to change, the work that he's doing might need to change. I really think he should take it. They should take him out of the lineup for a day. I mean,
Sure.
let Duran play second for a day. And maybe do it. Maybe do it around the day before an off day game after a night game, something like that. Get 2 for 1, but try to even the Rangers will have an off day till next Thursday, I think. So maybe do it today, or maybe do it Sunday, because they fly home from Chicago and have to play a day game Monday. So maybe do it then. Just give him a day off and tell him don't do any work. Like don't let him do any work. Just get his mind completely out of baseball mode, or as much as it can be, and see if that pays any dividends. He's the problem is, or it's not a problem, but the good thing is that they're good defenders. And you've seen Adolis in the last week basically win a Gold Glove. He's just been so good. And when you're not scoring runs, you got to save runs.
Absolutely.
You got to prevent them, and those guys will prevent the runs. So I think they're going to keep playing in the short term. But Peterson's the DH. That seems like an easy one to replace. You can when Seager comes back, which should be probably I would suspect on the homestand.
You think he'll be back then?
Well, I mean, it's been more than 10 days. And he said, he ran on that it was either the Saturday or the Sunday he ran for the first time and hadn't hit yet. And I asked him, you don't think it'll be the minimum? And he said, no, he thinks it'll be a little bit longer. But I think on this homestand, it's reasonable to think that he'd be back.
By the end of it, at least.
At some point during it. Yeah. And huge difference. But, he's up. He only bats once, once he can't occupy more than one spot in the lineup. So, the rest of the lineup has to do its thing. And when he was back, it was brief, but it was very, very good. And the offense was really good with him in it.
He was productive.
So, you gotta, but you can't just put it all on Corey Seager's shoulders because, these other guys just have to get going. But, so maybe Peterson is the short-term fall guy. I mean, he's nothing defensively, and then, that definitely ensures that Josh Smith would be in the lineup every day. He could DH, or, you could go around and give these guys DH days. Okay, great. But something's going to have to change. And okay, so let's try to be positive. Marcus Semien is on a little hitting streak, and he's started to really hit the ball to right field. He hasn't had a ton of hits to right field, but a lot of his outs, some hard outs even, have been to right field.
Yep.
Peterson is drawing a lot of walks.
Yes.
So that means he's seeing the ball and recognizing the pitches. Now they've all had some bad strikeouts here, chasing out of the zone. Those three guys seem to be the ones who chase the most. On the positive side, Berger has been really good since he came back. Josh Young's been pretty good this month. Smith has cooled a little, but has been okay this month. Wyatt, probably about 250, but hits the ball hard. Sam Haggerty's been a real pleasant surprise offensively. So, I mean, they're good. Jonah Heim's been good. So there are good things happening on the offense, but they don't seem to happen at the same time. And
we're in the right situation.
And when they are happening, it's before the three guys we've been discussing at length here come up and kill the rally. So, it's
well, hats off. Look, my hats off goes to CY in this situation. There are a couple of signings that he put together that were under the radar. Nobody talked about him. One of them was Patrick Corbin, who look what he's been for this team. That some people kind of scoffed at and said, "Oh boy, what are we doing here?" This guy has been an unbelievable fifth starter for this team. Fantastic. Sam Haggerty's another one. This is a guy that came in on a minor league deal. They wasted a 40-man spot and DFA'd someone to get him up here because of what he was doing at AAA. And I don't care what you say. He looks good at the plate. He just does. He looks comfortable. He looks like he's seeing the ball well. He puts good swings together. He doesn't waste at bats. And that's what Berger's doing right now. The other day, Berger hit the first home run, and I tweeted out, if he'd have struck out there, it was still great at bat. He worked that count full and fouled one off. And I'm like, if you're going to go down 6 or 7 pitches in. Make that guy throw you 6 or 7 pitches. Well, he got him and got the home run, which was great. But doing that is what you need to do. A lot of these guys need to do. And, you think back to your little league days, and you've got Henry that's playing ball and all of that. Sometimes you're like, just, go up there and wait till you get a strike and make them throw you a strike. Because these guys, the Rangers had lived by the ambush. Corey Seager's the number one guy on it. They will ambush you if you come across that plate right off. But a lot of times, if you're not barreling it, though, we're seeing 3, 4, 5 pitch innings. And, that's not good, period. And so, but see why you have to give him a little credit. The scouting department has done well finding guys to fill holes. And Haggerty may, with Carter down, this guy may stick around when Carter comes back. I don't know. I mean, he seems like an easy guy to let go and do that. But, man, he certainly looks good out there.
Well, they're not going to let anybody go who's hitting the ball.
No.
That's for sure. And, so maybe that's the deadline for Adolis to get going. I don't know. Maybe when Carter comes back, they'll have a choice. Now, I still, Haggerty has never played every day. He was a minor league free agent this offseason for a reason.
Exactly.
But they just need guys that can hit. And Carter was not hitting above 200 when he was injured, but he had some really good at bats and like the front office people were very, very encouraged by what they saw. They saw the foundation that's going to lead to him being successful. So I think that's another guy who's going to be coming back. I don't know. They called it a grade 2 quad strain. Usually that's like 4 weeks, but then I think Bruce Bochy said, it'll be at least a couple weeks. So, somewhere in the 2 to 4 range, I think, before he's back. And so we're approaching the end of week 1. So 3 more weeks is mid-June, without Carter maybe. So, and then you're counting on a guy who, was hurt and has a back deal that they're monitoring and things like that. So this just isn't a good situation. And it's something that's not easy to correct. You can't just go out there and pluck, I don't know, a star player out of free agency to fix your team. You have to make these trades, and, star players are going to cost a lot. And
Absolutely.
Other teams at this point don't want to part with any of their star players.
Exactly.
Really, the only teams that are out of it are the Rockies and the White Sox. And what do they have? They have nothing. So you're not going to go steal their star player. I don't want to hear Luis Robert. He the other day said, I'm not doing good enough. Nobody's going to want me. So it's just, you have to go with what you've got. Yep. And even the minor leaguers aren't going to help a ton. I don't think. You could recall Blaine Crim, who's been hot again, and Justin Foscue, who's hit all season at AAA, right. But again, they play first base. Well, Jake Berger looks like he's got that sewn up. So you're kind of limiting yourself a little bit there. And then you have everybody wants Osuna. Well, Osuna needs to play some more at AAA. What about Walcott? I think Walcott's would have to be like an Evan Carter situation in 23. Late in the year, either the offense is just dead or somebody's injured and you need a spark. And maybe Walcott can do it if he's been great at AA and then AAA. Right. Even though Carter was only in AAA for a couple of weeks, to be fair.
Right. But Carter was tearing up everything, and Walcott has done well. He he is holding his own. He is a lot younger than Carter was at Double-A. And so,
yeah, I mean, he's 19. Yeah.
Right. So he is doing fantastic, but you see this too. Well, Walcott will be the starting shortstop next year. And it's like, no, he's not. This is maybe a guy that doesn't make it to the big leagues next year. Who knows? But he is everything you want. His trajectory is fantastic. He does not look lost at Double-A. He looks, we'll talk about that when we get to the minor league show. But, if we're going to get into, but we're doing big league stuff now, and we got to get into another thing, which is finally starting to rear its ugly head, but it's not a huge issue, but that's the bullpen with Martin down. And look, right now, I don't care. I know you guys are going to throw a fit about it, but your closer right now is Luke Jackson. And I know that doesn't sit well. He is not a true closer, but he's the guy right now in leverage situations. And Bochy, trust him right now. Look, these guys aren't perfect. They don't all come in and do what's his name did last year. What 1.1 ERA? Yeah, they don't all do that. But I don't think Jackson was really what they thought was going to be their closer all year. That's kind of not how it works. You kind of let guys develop. This bullpen may get a boost. Did you see where Rocker's going out tonight? He's pitching for Double-A.
Yeah, I don't know that you want to put Kumar Rocker in the bullpen. That's asking him to do something he's never done before. And you don't really need a long reliever at this point. You need somebody who can go out and work back-to-back days in the 8th or 9th inning, and I don't know that Kumar is ready to do that. Plus, the Rangers do have, their rotation's been great, but
yes,
they're an injury away from some problems. So you want to preserve your starting depth, and Rocker right now, while he's rehabbing, he'd be the 6th guy in a 5-man rotation. I mean, he hasn't been better than the other 5. So what do you do at that point?
Does he end up, you think, back at, unless there's some injury, knock on wood, God forbid, he's probably goes to the Round Rock rotation for a little bit while things sort themselves out?
It's certainly possible. It's probably the prudent thing to do, because again, if you move Patrick Corbin in the bullpen, he's not pitching the 9th inning. You're not putting him in the 9th inning. So that's kind of where the issue is right now. It's not, hey, we need somebody to go out and get us 2 innings in the 5th and 6th. It's we need to go out and get 3 outs in the 8th. And right now, even with Jackson healthy and Garcia healthy, they're worn out. I mean, Garcia has pitched a lot, and it's kind of an unsustainable pace. So these guys have to be monitored. And then when Chris Martin comes back, the Rangers are going to monitor him. So, I mean, it's, Josh Sborz is too far away. He wants to pitch before the All-Star break. Maybe he will. I don't know. John Gray, who I think is going to end up in the bullpen. I really do. At this point, with Bradford coming back and Rocker coming back, though Bradford's still probably not before July 1st, I think that this is the opportunity with the shape the bullpen's in to just say, John, let's give this bullpen thing a try. Yep. Plus, you can get him back sooner. If you say, hey, let's just get you stretched out to a couple innings and get you in there and see how it goes. You can use John Gray 2 or 3 times a week. And
I think he would be. Look, it's a whole different game, but that guy could be your closer. And
I don't know if he can be a closer. I think he
could, but it's a whole different game. You got to prepare for that.
Yeah. So but right now, I mean, Luke Jackson looks to be the closer because they don't really have another choice. I think that. Okay.
They're just the same, right-handed or left-handed.
I don't see a ton of difference between them. Garcia's a little younger.
He's definitely a leverage guy.
Yeah, he is. But so who at the minor league level could help? You should watch Teodo. I think Teodo could quickly be somebody. He's back from the injury. He's got to throw strikes. That's the deal with him. If he's throwing strikes, he's going to have a better opportunity to get up here. and believe me, the Rangers are watching him. He's on the 40-man roster. They love they saw what they've seen the last year in spring training, but you still have to throw strikes up here. And do you suddenly want to thrust that on a rookie? It worked for Neftali Feliz, but that was 16 years ago, and honestly, it was a different time. Baseball was just different then. Teodo, what he walked 2. Yes, had 3 walks and 3 appearances. So the last one was a pretty sharp outing. So maybe if he has another good week, maybe after next week he could be a candidate. You may see Cole Winn have to pitch in some situations where you may not want to use him, but there just aren't a ton of answers on hand for either the offense or the bullpen.
And the guy that some people have said maybe this is the guy that needs to close is not a closer, and that's Hobie Milner. That's not a closer, guys. That guy is good at what he does. Let him come. Boy, he is fantastic at what he does, and it's why he makes a great living in Major League Baseball. But you cannot make him an everyday closer.
Right.
That's a guy you pick your spot, you bring him in, and he goes, maybe he ends an inning for you when there's a little bit of traffic on base in the 6th or 7th, or maybe he comes in and just gives you the 6th or 7th. That's what he is. And when you've got 2 lefties coming up, lefty, righty, lefty, let's do Milner. That little slurve thing he throws, that I don't know what he calls that thing.
It's a sweeper, I think.
Sweeper, yeah. That is a fantastic. I don't know. It's why baseball's so amazing. Everybody knows the pitch he throws. Best hitters in baseball know what this guy throws. They know the scouting report, yet he has success with it. So it does something that is confusing coming out of the hand, and he's not throwing the ball 95 miles an hour.
Answer this. Do you want him to face Aaron Judge in the 9th inning in a 1-run game?
No.
All right. So he can't be your closer. I don't know that you want anybody to face Aaron Judge in the 9th inning, but
right.
But let's rank him here. Where does Hobie Milner rank on that list?
That's exactly.
If it's not first, then he shouldn't be your closer.
Right. Exactly. And it's not first. No offense to him. By the way, what a great signing. That guy has been lights out. This year, He's kind of been the Kirby Yates, only not as a closer. They are not putting the bat on him.
Right.
So
and good for him.
Yeah, fantastic. What a great guy, too. I talk to him all the time. You're in there.
Super nice. Yeah.
Oh, super, super nice guy. He's a Longhorn. So obviously, we talk a little bit since my boy's going to be a Longhorn and I'm a Longhorn fan. Hey, look, I like Colby. He does great at what he does. Don't tinker with what it is. I've said all along, the closer is either on another team, like they did the year they went to the World Series, and he'll be here eventually, or someone like Teodo or Hales or something. Well, Hales is kind of falling a little bit, but somebody down there with one of those high leverage arms is going to figure it out, but you cannot walk people. And that's what Teodo's dealing with right now. But one of those guys can come up and be that leverage guy. Chris Martin will come back eventually. I hope so.
Sure.
This is unfortunate what's happening. I just think it's age gets to you. You and I see it too. I mow the lawn now and I'm almost down for 2 hours. Used to, I'd go out there and mow 4 a day for money,
Yeah.
That's just the way age goes. Well, look, let's get Keith Jones in here and talk to him. And then after that, guys, we're going to go down in the bus leagues. All right, guys, and joining us right now from his home where the Hub City Spartanburgers are right now, it's Texas Rangers outfield prospect Keith Jones II. What do you go by, Keith? You just go by Keith? Is that what people call you?
Keith, KJ2, Deuce, KJ. It's all over the place.
I like Deuce. Deuce.
I get the ringer. I get Junior every once in a while. I get the second. I get it all, especially once people start to meet my dad. So it makes it a little easy for them.
All right, Deuce, let's do it. You guys, it's kind of a unique season for you. It's your first full professional season, but as you know, for Hub City, it's their first season in existence. What's it been like? What's the atmosphere been like at games so far in the infancy of this franchise?
The atmosphere has been amazing. It's been crazy. I mean, on our off nights, we're still getting about 4,000 fans. So that's been super cool to experience and see. The weekends, I mean, we hit Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and even Sundays. It's full capacity. The berm is filled up.
Really?
The fans are pretty rowdy. You know, it's they're all engaged. They're always cheering. They got they got a little train choo choo celebration going on. They get the kids are in love with since we got Casey on the team, they're in love with the Let Casey Cook. So it's a lot of burger stuff going on. But man, it's amazing. It's been a fun atmosphere to play in. With the stadium and how the fans are on top of you, you know, it's small capacity, but it does almost feel like you're in a, you're getting ready and prepared for a big league game. Just the way they're on top of you, the way you can hear them. I mean, they're screaming. Granted, it's not 50,000. It's gonna,
Right.
bump up a whole lot one day, but it is a really good environment. They're baseball fans. I think they've been missing baseball, and they've embraced us
Yes.
a lot.
So it's Fifth Third Park. They call it the
Yes.
fraction, which I think is pretty cool. Well, what the one thing I heard is that it's hard for right-handed hitters to hit the ball out, but lefty hitters, I'm not saying it's a piece of cake because you can tell me that for sure, but it seems like it's a little more friendly for lefties.
Yeah, it's definitely a little more friendly. It's a big ballpark. We got pretty close to globe life dimensions, so it makes it a little difficult for righties, and then you get the wind kind of blows in a little bit from left from time to time, but then you get the jet stream going to right.
Yeah.
So I'll take that anytime I can get it.
Well, absolutely. It's not your fault. All right. So far this year, 260, 833 OPS. You're getting on base a lot. 424 OBP. You only played a handful of games at the end of last season, but did those games help get you at least a taste, get your feet wet for what you might expect this season?
Oh, absolutely. It was very beneficial. Just those little handful of games. The failure I had in them, they actually made it a little, one, it made you a little motivated to get back into it next year, but two, it just, it showed me what that grind looks like, what it is to bounce back. You got to be right back at it the next day. That's the biggest jump from college to here, I would say, is just the fact that you're playing 6 games a week. And then it's not spaced out in between. You got a new routine. Your body doesn't feel perfect. And it's a whole lot more games being played. But yeah, they just got me prepared for what to expect, what to see. Started to understand, how staffs work on different teams, seeing how they all, pitch, what you're going to see week to week, and how you adjust week to week to that basis. And it got me a little bit of an idea of just how I wanted to prepare for this year when I got to the off season.
All right, so you're 38 games in. How are you feeling? How is the grind so far?
It's a grind. I looked up and it's just like, to be that we're already 40 games into the season. I mean, I'm almost close to what I've played the last 2 years at New Mexico State. So it's just like that. And I'm not even halfway through yet. So
right.
That's the part that's new. Learning my routine in the training room, learning my routine on the field, and playing what gets me prepared. I'm gonna give myself the time to do that. We've had a little success this year with it. But yeah, it's just been a big thing of trying to figure out how I get prepared each day, day in, day out.
Gotcha. No center field for you, but left and right. Do you like one more than the other? You've played a lot more in right. Is that where you like to be?
I think I'm definitely a little more comfortable in right now, just because we've been playing it a whole lot more. But the goal is to get me as comfortable as possible to where I'm able to be everywhere. That's my goal as well. Be an asset out there in whichever way I can. So you're going to see me all over the place, bouncing back and forth between the two. But yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. And then, so you've shown some power, you've shown some speed. You stole home, did you not?
I did.
That's pretty good. That's pretty dang good. So give us your own scouting report on you.
Ooh, ooh. I'm gonna say. I would say baseball player. I would say he's gonna play. He's gonna play the game. He's gonna decide. You know, there's gonna be times. I mean, I can go off how they're pitching me today. It's just like when what the moment calls for, he's gonna try and get it done and do it. It's you can attack me every which way, but if you come over that hard to plate, that he can do some damage to it. You want to execute on the pitching side. On the defensive side, I would say kind of the same thing. He's gonna execute the plays. Probably got to get a little more aggressive on the defensive side. I would tell myself that, but yeah, it just is. I would say baseball player. He's gonna play the game. If you give him opportunities to make something happen, he's gonna make it happen.
Well, I like
That's
that.
value.
Yeah, I like that. So I don't know. You go into this season, with 7 games under your belt. Are you a kind of guy who likes to set goals where you want to be at the end of the year, or are you just getting by day?
No, I absolutely. This one was a weird one. It's like we said. Like I said earlier, the amount of games I play. I mean, I'm doubling, almost tripling the amount of games I've ever played. So
Yeah,
it's especially if you count spring training and being on the field. Like you've never played baseball consistently like this in your life, especially at this high level. So of course I set goals. Statistical goals. Uh, Always, just of where you would want to see yourself and to get to and what you're striving for. But mostly this year, I'm giving myself the grace just to understand what the process is.
yeah.
It's the first year, so I don't know how my body's going to feel when I get to August. I don't know how it's going to feel when it
Yeah,
gets to
sure.
July. I don't know where my head is going to be at when I get to July. I gotta, this game is hard.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's defeating. You're gonna have the best week of your life and be the best hitter in baseball one day, and then you're gonna turn around and come the next week and you're not even gonna know if you can touch a baseball. So I've been giving myself that grace to just understand what this grind looks like so I can keep learning and building going forward.
Yeah, the game will humble you.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that is something that I learned very early on as a beat writer, is that saying, don't get too high, and because it's going to turn around and smack you in the face.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You guys are playing pretty good ball right now. First place. It seems like you guys have a knack for coming back and winning games. What's it like? Some college age kids, some guys you were drafted with last year. What's the chemistry like?
I think that's our biggest asset. It's a very big testament to all the people that we have in our locker room. We don't have anybody that feels they're above the team. We don't have anyone that is playing that game and just super focused on themselves and getting to the next level. I think each team knows that, or each person on our team knows rather, that if I'm my best and play my best and contribute all that I can do for the team, then that's only going to help me in the long run. And I think it's what you said. You have a lot of college guys in here. You have, 3 guys who came from big name schools. A couple of them got all the way. You got Dylan, who got all the way to the national championship, won that last year. You got Casey, who was at UNC. So you just have a lot of guys who have that experience of being on teams that have competed and went very far. And then it just helps that when you come along and everyone understands that and can mesh together and doesn't care about anything other than, okay, how do we compete and win? Because you could be focusing yourself doing bad and then you're losing and it makes it way worse. But if you're winning, you can't complain at all. You can figure out the struggle through that. So I think that's just the testament of our team and our locker room and where it's at. We have a bunch of good guys in there, and no one is above it. No one feels they're above it. Everyone just wants to compete, get after it, and win.
That is a winning mentality. That's what it is. It's, you listen to successful teams and their players and what it takes. Do it the game asks you to do.
Absolutely.
Sacrifice for the guy next to you. Trust that he's going to get the job done. That's how you win. And so that's a testament also to the people the Rangers draft. They try to draft a bunch of solid guys who pulling
Without
the
a
same end
doubt.
of the rope. And there's every time we have a guest on here like you, or we had Dylan on earlier, it's the same thing. Good people win. That's what Chris Young believes, and I don't know. I've seen it too. I've seen this Rangers
absolutely.
team. I've seen this Rangers team with some weird sons of bitches on the team. Over my years, there have been some strange guys on this team, and they haven't worked out. But this group of guys, from the big league side all the way to where you are and lower, it's the same mentality. So that's a testament to you. So anyway, our show. I do the baseball stuff, and I'm done with that, and then John gets into the fun stuff. So we're going to get to know a little bit about Keith Jones.
Yeah,
All right, let's do it.
And let me tell you, and to echo off, just kind of piggyback off where Jeff went, and it's very obvious with you just talking to you here for the first few minutes and all of that. This team goes out. It's not, you've got to be talented for this team to look at you and draft you, period. That's just you see that up and down the league, but you've also got to have a certain attitude and stuff. And it makes it so easy to root for you guys. We have not met a guy yet that we're like, holy crap, what a piece of crap that dude is. You're rooting for you guys. I want to see Keith Jones, the second, Junior Deuce here. I want to see him busting down, people going, why is he not up here yet? He's at AAA hitting 500. That's what we want to see for all of you guys. Get to know you younger. We'll see you at spring training. When you get to that big league clubhouse and you guys get in there, we're ready to come in with a hug and say, dude, this is where we wanted to see you. But let's get to know you, Keith. That's what we really want to do. You're from Brentwood, California. You went to Heritage High School.
Yes.
Okay. Did you play any other sports, or were you just baseball?
Nah, just baseball. A little bit of basketball when I was younger. But when I got to high school, early on, I got the opportunity to just kind of compete. When I got to high school, it was just like, we had a really good, talented baseball program at Heritage during that year. There's a bunch of guys who have came out of there. A couple of us now in professional baseball. And it was just a team that was competitive. And it was like, okay, freshman year when I started kind of, getting with the older guys, I was one of my closest friends. I walked in the weight room one time and he was just making fun of me. We still talk about it to this day because I was just this little 14-year-old kid who could not touch a weight. Yeah. But it was there. It was like, okay, maybe this is where my focus. And then as that season went on and then going into that summer, it was just like, okay, I actually really feel like I'm pretty good at this and I can do it for a long time. So let's focus on baseball.
Hey, you're doing it at a professional level, and that's amazing to do that. Now, when you left
before we go on, no, hang on. So Brentwood, California. Brentwood, of course, became infamous because of O.J. Simpson, but that's a different Brentwood.
It's a different.
That was the first thing I thought of. You're like 7 hours away from that. Brentwood,
I'm
right?
7 hours away. Yeah, I'm up in the Bay Area, so I'm up in the Antioch area. I grew up in Oakland, and then we moved to Brentwood when I turned about around high school time is when I moved out to Brentwood.
Okay. Yeah. Now Oakland, man, that is a hell of a baseball town. You talk about guys that
Oakland. Oh yeah, my love for it comes from there, man. Being at Greenman Field, all of that, man. Growing up, the dudes I played with, man, it was them little league days. Being right on 66 Ave, right over there by the stadium, man. It used to just be. It was electric. It was fun. I loved it, man. But it's where my love started real early for baseball.
That's awesome.
Okay, now out of high school. Now you look, the Rangers drafted you out in New Mexico State. You started out at Washington State, right?
Yep, correct.
Okay, so how long were you at Washington State?
For 2 years. 2
years, and then you go on to New Mexico State. Let me ask you this: was there any? So Washington State, you were being recruited pretty heavily then. Go to Washington State. I can't say heavily, but you were on some radars of some D1 schools. Anybody else that you considered, or anybody else that was trying to get you?
Yeah, I was looking. I had UW was looking, a couple of the local schools like Santa Clara, USF. I can't remember who else I could be forgetting, but it was definitely leaning towards a couple of the other Pac-12 schools. I was still pitching at that time, so there was a couple of schools I was talking about for throwing still. But yeah, it was mostly UW and Washington State were on my mind heavily, just because offer package that they were telling me with my schooling and all of that, as well as just I was, growing up. It was like kind of where my little frustration came with Cal, because I always wanted to go to Cal growing up, but
Sure.
never really talked to them. But I always knew I wanted to play in the Pac-12. So
Yeah, you're a Pac-12 fan out there. Washington and Washington State both back then.
yeah.
You're absolutely doing that. So let me ask you this: what got you to New Mexico State? Another who has produced some talent. Let's be honest, it's come out of New Mexico State. What got you there?
Yeah, when it was a couple rough years at Washington State. Felt it was best for me to get out of there and transfer. So when I had entered the portal, I was playing up in Portland with the Pickles for summer ball, and I started off. I was having a really good summer there. And I'm talking to a couple schools through the portal, not really deciding, here and there, hearing different things, talking to different coaches. But the hitting coach at New Mexico State was Brandon Van Horn at the time. Our first conversation, man, he called me immediately. First thing he told me, he was just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, despite what you went through the last couple of years, you're a hitter. All the video I've seen, you can hit. You're a hitter, and you got a chance to do it. And you're gonna have success no matter where you go if you get the opportunity this year." And then from there, we just had a great conversation on what our foundations of hitting were. They aligned a lot as we talked more and more. We just realized that I liked the plan he had for me, the conversation we had, all of that. So it just was kind of a no doubt in my brain that that's where I wanted to go, because I just wanted to be with him, and I wanted to be with somebody who actually fully believed in me and was going to give me the opportunity. So then we get to New Mexico State that first year, and then me and him, we had a bit of success. I struggled early on, but then we kind of figured it out, and then we had success going on through that junior year, and then I kind of just took off from there.
Yeah, your senior year. I mean, fantastic from there. That was great. Now you're drafted, for those that don't know, you're drafted in the 9th round by the Texas Rangers out of New Mexico State. I still remember that, because you're trying to see who you guys are that they're drafting as we're following the draft. So let me ask you this. So, usually the top 15 picks in the draft will go somewhere, and they'll be wherever the draft is. And they kind of do it like the NFL, NBA, they'll do that. Guys like you, that you're not there wherever the draft is. How did you find out that you were drafted? Who called you? Were you watching it? What happened the day you were drafted?
So, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So, we knew I was going to get my name called, and we had a pretty strong feeling that I was going to be on day 2 talking to my agent and everything at the time. So me and my family, just to get away, we had junior year when we thought I was going to get the call. I was like out working out and everything, and was at home, and it just kind of didn't work out because everyone's panicking and trying to figure out what to do. And, we're not getting calls. You got a million people texting you. So we kind of, we went to Palm Desert, me and some close friends, some family friends, a lot of people closest to me, my parents, a couple aunt and uncles, and some little cousins. And we just left, went to the pool. I had my phone over just so I was with the kids trying to have fun, and I got my little cousins running around distracting me, and I got my phone on do not disturb, and just one person, just my agent's phone. Just he has that ability to call me. He got the call that I'm jumping up out of the pool. He's like, "Hey, the Rangers, they want to take you here. Congratulations," all of that. So then my family was there. They pulled it up on the screen, saw the name pop up, and, kind of just celebrated right there at the pool. So it was super cool. We got to hang out the rest of the night, eat food, everything. So just being around a bunch of love and people that, have been there since day one.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's so much fun. Jeff and I talk about it all the time. Jeff still has a chance. He's got a 12-year-old that's
right.
Baseball. Maybe he'll have that kid one day that becomes a major leaguer. But when you guys make it, to me, it's like I tell people it's as close as I can get to a kid of mine making it to the big leagues. I'm so stoked for you guys. Jeff sees it. We're in that locker room giving you hugs. So we're pulling for you. That's fantastic. I love these stories. I love to hear how that happened. So now let's go to some more fun stuff. Favorite food. What's your favorite type of food?
Man, that's a tough one. I eat a lot.
All baseball players too. You guys put the calories away.
Yeah, I'll try any and everything. I'm a foodie.
You're a foodie. Okay.
Man, yeah. Oh, man, I love to cook. I love to do it all. I got really into grilling this past off season.
Nice.
Grilling, and I was on the smoker a lot. If I was to go favorite, we're going type or just one thing. Like,
Well, we're going to get to one thing later, but what type are you like? You like Italian food? You like Mexican food? You like?
Making it hard on me. Because I genuinely do like it all. But recently, I've been a big barbecue guy, so I'm
Okay.
gonna go barbecue just because, like I said, I got into grilling and smoking in the off season, so I'm gonna go barbecue. I don't think anything beats just being out in the sun and on the grill.
Now,
Okay,
now
so
let me ask you this: Are there
that-
some good
go ahead.
barbecue joints there in Spartanburg?
We got a couple. People were telling me we gotta go a little more down south. So
Okay.
I'm kind of going off the locals because some of the stuff I've had, I thought it was amazing and good. We got like the Smoking Pits. That's kind of the spot out here, but all the local people are telling me like, nah, you got to go down more, and it's gonna be a lot better. So we'll see. Hopefully, we get to explore a little more eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see, especially as we get more towards summer. Maybe I'll get invited to somebody's house or something.
There you go. Okay.
No,
here's the thing.
there is Carolina barbecue, right? There's different.
That's what I
kinds of
hear.
barbecue.
They got like
Yeah.
that. What's the like Carolina sauce or something like that? I know they got
And
something like one of the
I think
barbecue
that sometimes
sauces or something.
they'll like cube it a little bit, but big with the pork. Carolina
Yes.
barbecue is big with pork and like vinegary stuff.
Nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
So-
either of that.
Yeah, I mean, I did. It's no Texas barbecue,
No.
but it's pretty good. And then there's Kansas City, of course, and
It's
then
supposed
like
to be rugged.
in Tennessee, like they do just rubs, on their
Yeah.
barbecue. I'm not down with that one as much.
I heard Tennessee with the rubs is really good, and then one of the team, Marcus Smith, he's from Kansas City, so he like lives or dies by it. So
Yeah,
he was talking trash about when we get on the grill this summer because he was just
There
like,
you
I
go.
don't think
Yeah.
you got what I got.
yeah. No,
Okay,
he would know. He would know.
So it's very rare that you guys have to do this, or maybe a little more than we think. But there are times when you do have to. You have to pick fast food. You got to grab something and hit a drive-through, do something. What's your favorite fast food? What's your go-to that you got to maybe back home or out here?
Oh nah, I'm in the South. It's Cookout easily. That's the easy one. Cookout is the spot.
Cookout.
What
Cookout.
is that? A burger place? What is that?
It's got everything you could think of. This is where I get to have, we say, big back activities. I get to I get to go out there, and they're like, "What do you want?" I want a burger tray with corn dogs and quesadillas and peach cobbler shake. Like that. That is probably my go-to fast food spot. Now when I'm back home, gotta go to In-N-Out, like because I'm
Yeah,
not there.
yeah.
I'm not at home. But In-N-Out is probably the In-N-Out and Cookout. Them are the two. Everything else I can do without. But if I can go get me a 4x4 animal style, or I can go get me a big double burger tray with a corn dog and a quesadilla and a shake, I'll be good.
There you
Okay.
go.
What is a
In-N-Out,
4x4?
That's an In-N-Out.
Oh,
I know,
that's
but what
In-N-Out.
is it? What is
Four
it?
patties, 4 pieces of cheese.
Oh my, Keith, you like to eat, baby. I like
Dude. And that animal style, some of the greatest stuff
I
ever. Look,
like
so-
animal style. I do like.
Have you
animal
ever
style.
had a Whataburger? Now that's the big Texas thing is Whataburger.
Patty melt fan. I had it at New Mexico, so we had a couple of
Okay.
patty melt nights out there. where
But
we were
In-N-Out still your
playing
favorite.
that. But
then.
In-N-Out. I don't think anything will. I don't care what anyone says. Nothing touches In-N-Out.
No.
Some places might have a better burger. Some place, but I can go to In-N-Out with $15 and come out with all the food I need.
That's all you
That's all
need.
I
And change. That's
And
right.
change.
Right,
Bring
and
me
change
back some
with that.
change, damn it.
Okay. So now we go kind of to what you hinted at originally. If you're going to get a home cooked meal, either your mom or your grandma or somebody, it's your birthday, it's your big day, they're going to make you your favorite home cooked meal. What is it and who cooks it?
Whew. Okay, I gotta give 2 with it. Both
Okay,
by
that's
my
fine.
mom. Both by my mom.
Okay.
Okay.
But she does her gumbo.
Oh man.
When we get to around New Year's Eve and all that, she'll, because the crab is on sale, all that, so we'll do some gumbo. And then the other, I gotta go with my mom again. She started doing these braised short ribs
Ooh,
a
baby.
couple years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And she keeps telling. I tried to make them once. I couldn't do it, and I just gave up. It was good. Everyone said it was good. They liked it, but it was nothing on hers compared to mine. So she does these
Oh,
braised short ribs. Sometimes she'll do greens with it. Sometimes she'll do mac and cheese. But or sometimes she'll do like a dirty rice with it. So her braised short ribs, I go with those too. Uh,
Man,
I'll throw in just because I know Dad is gonna listen later, so I'll throw in his Caesar salad too. He does a firehouse Caesar. I'm getting close to him, but he still got the cake with that one.
so how often is your family able to see you? Because your dad was in the booth for one of your home runs this year.
He
So
was.
how often are they
was.
able to get out there?
Well, they're here this weekend, so
Oh, nice.
So that's what people are finding out kind of how crazy of a family we are. Especially with my dad. So no, yeah, my dad he got off work. He got back out here Tuesday, so he's been here all week. I think my mom gets in either later tonight or in the morning, and they'll be here through about half the week next week, and my dad will be here the whole two weeks. So yeah, they're gonna follow me around forever. I don't.
They need to. I don't want to put any pressure on your mom, but she may need to go to the grocery store and get some ribs. I'm sure your ribs would appreciate
short
that.
ribs, ear ribs, whatever. Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
Keith, what's your socials? What at Keith?
Yeah, it's Keith.Jones2 on Instagram, and then I want to say it's Keith_Jones_X2 on Twitter. Here, I can check that real quick.
All right. Well, we're going to get this out to the
Yep,
masses.
Yeah,
Keith_Jones_X2 on Twitter.
Yeah, I want to tag you when I get this out. It'll be out in the next hour or so, and I'll get you tagged and tag New Mexico State and stuff just to let them see you do that. So the audio and video will be out. Okay, couple more, then we'll get you out of here. Spare time.
Oh, good.
If you're not playing baseball and it's your spare time, do you play golf? Do you hunt, fish? Do you like to go pick up basketball? What's your spare time? Video games. Some of them do that. What do you do in your spare time?
Fishing and bowling.
Bowling.
No.
Mookie Betts is a big bowler. What's your best game? What's the best score you ever had?
I got a perfect game under my belt.
Are you serious?
Yep, I bowled my first one last year. Yeah. So
did you get a ring?
No, I wasn't in league. It wasn't in league play. I do want to join a league again this year. I haven't been in the league since high school, but yeah, it was like I went with a couple of friends before the season last year. We were just hanging out, and I bowled my first one, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, what's it? Okay, how does that unfold? Like
it's like a perfect game in baseball.
When a pitcher's throwing a perfect game, nobody talks to him.
Oh,
you're there with your boys, and you've got a perfect game going.
So it was actually funny. So like we're in El Paso, and it was just a random night. Like everyone had been, they knew I had my bowling balls with me, and we hadn't went all off season yet. So they're kind of just like, nah, we need to see if you can actually bowl. And it was just a night we were trying to figure out something to do. So we drove all the way out there. We went to like 3 different bowling alleys because for some reason this one night everyone decided to bowl. So like we finally find the spot. We almost like got in trouble because we found the one on the Army base, and they were like, "What are you doing over here? You can't be here." So it was just a crazy night, and it took us like 2 hours to find a lane. So then we finally get there. The first game, it was rough. Like I had a bad first game, and not terrible, but just bad for what I feel. And they're like, "Oh, like you did all right, but you doing all right." So the second game, I'm starting off, and then we get to like the 5th frame, and I look up and I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right,
yeah, okay,
keep going." But I can see a couple of my the 3 friends I was with, 2 of them are like already quiet, like they're sitting down. I'm walking, and like after I bowled the 6th one, I came and I'm like, "Hey, like you can still high five me." Like you still gotta high five me when you do it. Don't just go quiet and don't even talk to me. So then I bowl the 7th one, and I come back, and now we talk about the no field. One of my friends, he goes, so what? You think you're just gonna bowl a perfect game or something? Like he says it to me,
Oh no.
and my other friend like literally just hauls off and punches him, and he's just like, "What are you like, bro? What are you doing? Like, why would you say that out loud?" He's like, "Bro, I'm not gonna mess anything up." I Brooklyn. I don't know if y'all familiar with bowling, but I Brooklyn the next one. So that's when you like go across the lane and you bowl in the opposite pocket. So like
Okay.
I got scared. I got scared when I bowled it, and I was just like, "Oh shoot, I didn't get it in my lane enough." And then in Brooklyn, and I came back, I was just like, "Whew." And he was just like, so you got some people, some of the bowling fanatics, they're gonna say it's not true 300 since I did that.
Oh.
But I Brooklyn it, and he comes back. He's like, "See, nothing happened, all that." And then we finish up the game. That 10th one, they were like, I could just feel all the eyes on me and everything. I was just like, "Do not mess up," because at that time, my dad, he bowled a lot growing up, and his best game was a 298. So I always heard about his 298, and I'd never touch it and all that. So I did it. I like sent my dad the video immediately. I'm calling him. I'm like, "You said I'd never top it," but man, it was just a super cool moment. And I think it was one of the coolest things I've done, and then being with my friends about it. So
Oh
it
my
was just
God.
a day we'll always talk about and laugh about. Like we were just talking. I'm actually playing one of my best friends in Rome. He's here, and we were like just talking about it the other day. So
My God. You just answered the last question that I always ask to everybody, and he can't top that, Jeff. He can't top
I don't think so. It'd be
But
hard.
We're gonna say it anyway, and then you're gonna get to say the answer of I've actually bowled a perfect game. I always ask this, and I'll just tell you some of the other guys' answers so that you kind of understand where we go with
Well,
this.
tell them what the question is.
Yeah, the question is always, hey, what is something that nobody knows about Keith Jones II? What is something nobody knows? Now you're CY, we've had CY on here, your general manager. He's a big true crime documentary guy. So when he gets any spare time, he likes to watch true crime documentaries. Blaine Krim, what was Blaine Krim's thing? He used
to hit when he was 5. He would walk around the house naked and
hit batting practice. Yeah, stuff like that. We've Dylan Dreiling was a couple weeks ago. What did he say? He was.
I don't recall.
I don't remember what his was.
It was pretty good though. I liked it.
Yeah, we've had some.
Was it the rom-coms that they're watching rom-coms?
Yeah, he's a rom-com.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, him and Casey have been big on the rom-coms. We were making fun of them, man. We were like, what in the world? Like they were rushing in rain delays to get back to the hotel.
Okay, it's going to be hard to top that, but I'm going to ask the question: what is something that nobody knows about Keith Jones II?
And we got the answer. But
I'm an avid bowler, and I've bowled a 300.
There you go.
That's
pretty awesome, man.
Now that we know that, anything else you can think of that might be kind of cool off the top of your head?
Oh, nothing like that. I guess maybe like I DJ'd when I was younger. I was like a little kid DJ.
All right. That's cool.
But I don't know if anything. I don't know if anything can touch that one. I like fishing. I'm trying to get into hunting soon since I got so many teammates and all that. Getting back into golf since every baseball player golfs. So
that's right.
Gotta get back into that. And that's where business is done anyway. So
I tell you, I feel so.
Well, nobody's gonna bowl with you now.
Yeah.
If there's any way to win money bowling, you just blew it.
I am deflated. I bowled a 220 one time and strutted around like nobody.
That's good though.
Yeah, and it's the best I've ever had. But
people don't realize the pros are still averaging between a 190 and a 210.
Yeah,
it's just when they have a really good game, they're in the 270s, 280s, 290s, and even 300s. But like to do that, because like I don't think people understand how hard it is to do that consistently. And then especially at their level, like I can get into it, but like with the oil patterns and all of that,
yeah,
right. Well, how do you bowl? Do you do the two hands or do you?
No, I'm one-handed.
Traditional.
But, I have a traditional 2 fingers, and that's when I don't do 3 fingers, but just 2. And then
yeah, because I had to cover a.
Now, do you have a spare ball that's different from your?
Yep.
Oh, he's got
we got. So people were laughing because they always ask how I got into it, but just in Brentwood, in our town, our schools offered like a bowling class. So if you were a junior, well, I got into it my sophomore year, or no, I got into it my junior year. But usually it's your senior year they allow you to take this bowling class, and it's like in the morning, and it's like a little competition between all the schools and everything. But I got into it my junior year, and just me and all my friends out there, we got the bowling alley. We all played baseball. We all weren't really into golf yet. Our dads were. So it was just like it became a thing. Like Friday nights, we went bowling. Like Friday, Saturday nights, if it was a random Tuesday and we all were hanging out, what y'all want to do? Went bowling. So it just we all got super into it. We used to have we had this competition at the end of each semester between the schools. So it was like we all played baseball, we all played a sport, and then we all bowled. So it just
What
was
a
like
great.
it
And
was
when you
like
get,
you would go in there on Friday nights, it would be like all three high. Like if you were an adult or you were a young kid, you didn't want to be there because that's where all high schoolers were.
yeah, I'd imagine, and
Awesome.
that's going to be fantastic one day when you're married and you have kids and all of that. Because my family, it's a thing we still do, and my youngest is graduating high school tomorrow. But it's still a thing we do as a family. Every once in a while, we'll break out the let's all go bowling, and let's
Yeah.
just go do it.
And congratulations on that. Getting them through high school is a big accomplishment.
Yeah, he's heading to UT, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
That's going to be fun. But I've got family out in New Mexico with real close buddy of mine. My uncle's like my best friend. He's only 6 years older than me. But we've gone out to Las Cruces and been out there. That's a beautiful area, and that's where New Mexico State is.
Yep.
But that's a real pretty area.
Oh yeah, I love it. I loved it, man. It was amazing to me. I always tell people, they always ask, I was like, dude, I went from, I don't know if y'all familiar with Pullman, but I went from one Walmart and one Safeway to having 3 Walmarts, Sprouts,
Big time.
a bunch of Safeways, and a bunch more restaurants. I had 2
Yeah.
restaurants I could. So to me, I was on cloud 9. So
Yeah.
Pullman is remote. It is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is way down in a weird part of the state.
But yeah, I loved Cruces, man. It was beautiful. You got all the seasons. It was, just the atmosphere, the people. It's such a small, it's on a small scale, but it was a true college town feel.
Yeah.
Pullman, I think you get a little caught up since it's a bigger school. It's still a small town. People ride for it, but it's more about football there. Always will be.
For sure.
But dude, just being in the amount of people, when we get out opening weekend, the amount of people would be there. When we were going good, the amount of people that would show up and support. It was super cool last year, just with it being my last and everything. I had a T-shirt selling, and when I looked up on the senior day, I got super emotional, seeing all this, the amount of people in my T-shirt. It just kind of just man, that's
awesome.
amazing. And I knew most of the people. It wasn't it was just. There were people I didn't know, but most of them I've had conversations with, or at least they've sent me a good look, some sort of that. So it was, and then the amount of people in love I received when I went back, I got to go back in the off season, and just the amount of people who text me, tell me they're proud of me, and they're always following me, man. It's amazing. So
That's
I love
fantastic. Fantastic. Jeff, anything else before we get him out of here?
No, thank you for your time, man. And it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Man, I can't make you understand. We understand how your schedules are. You're a pro baseball player. You have that regiment every day to take time to do this. Believe me when I tell you this, you will be on again. We always follow up, get you guys back on.
You may be on next week at this rate.
Oh, it's been great. Keith, thank you so much. We'll get this out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on with us. Good luck the rest of the season until we get you back on here again to talk about some more fun stuff.
All right, sounds good. Thank you guys again, man. No problem at all.
All right, thanks. That's Keith Jones. Guys, we're going to go down in the bus leagues right after this. All right, but big thanks to Keith Jones for joining us right there, guys. We're going to go down in the bus leagues real quick, talk about every level and what's going on there. I do want to highlight one guy and talk about what he has done, who has just been fantastic. We're going to start out at AAA, the Round Rock Express. They are 22-26. They're in 4th place right now. They have been struggling a little bit. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they've lost 2. They are where are they at now? They're out of town right now, but they're coming back in.
They're in Charlotte.
Week. I know that. They're in Charlotte, but next week they got Reno. Is Reno coming?
Possibly. Yeah.
I think it is Reno.
Yeah, it's kind of new this year that the Pacific Coast League and the International League are having a little interleague action, and I think Round Rock's already played Toledo, and now they're playing Charlotte. And Charlotte's a good team. Charlotte's the White Sox, and the White Sox have really bolstered, beefed up their farm system. So there's some good players there at Charlotte for the White Sox. But I think we saw Adrian Hauser has left the organization. So like, who's your guy? If you got to go pick a starter, any starter, you got to pick a starter. I would guess Dane Dunning would be the guy, though he's not on the 40-man. Garabito pitched well his last time out, but it's pretty much been not good for him. So I'm not sure. You got to find a starter.
I can't figure out Garabito.
That's a tough one. May not be at AAA. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your 40-man spot for sure. That's going to come open eventually. When
you would think it has it for almost a full year now.
Well, that 1 year I kept wondering that 1 year why Josh Sborz wasn't getting DFA'd, and you couldn't figure it out. And I called it the DFA jiu-jitsu that he was pulling, where he kept, but they saw something, and look where it turned out. This is the guy that threw the most important pitch in Texas Rangers history, and got the most important out. And so credit to him. All right, let's go down to AA Frisco. Frisco Rough Riders are 24-17. They're in first place. They are 4-6 in their last 10, and they have won a couple of games. They've won a couple. Obviously, when you're going to go down to AA, Cole Drake's been good that we've had on here.
He's been great. Yeah,
he's been fantastic.
I tell you, honestly, if the Rangers absolutely had to have a starting pitcher, I wouldn't be surprised if he would be very heavily in the conversation.
It gets a look.
He's got strikeout stuff. He's big. He usually is throwing a lot of strikes. I wouldn't be surprised. And then another guy, Mitch Bratt, just solid, throws strikes, knows how to get outs. He had that experience at the World Baseball Classic in 23,
which was unfair to him.
It was, but hey, you know what? He's been battle tested.
Yeah,
he's not going to face a better lineup. I can tell you that much. Offensively, we said we'd talk about Walcott. His average has slid and his strikeouts are up a little bit, but he's also starting to hit more power. Hit for more power. So you're kind of seeing a little turbulence. He's 19 years old, but the pieces are in place there. He's just got to. When he matures as a player and gets a little more discipline at the plate, he's got 21 walks. That's second on the team. He's going to be a damn good player. But one thing I would watch for with him is if here maybe in a couple weeks he doesn't start to get some games in right field. I just think that's something to keep an eye on.
And if it happens, then you can start your talk about, is this a guy that ends up here at some point? Honestly, that means when you're doing well, they start finding a place for you to play.
Right. And, Abby Ortiz has been really good lately.
Yeah, he won player of the week, didn't he?
Yeah, hit a walk-off grand slam in a game last week. So, he's a character, and he can play a little right field. I'm not saying he's going to replace Adolis Garcia by any stretch, but he's a little more versatile than you'd think when you first put eyes on him.
Yeah, when you look at him, he's got that power butt. That's what I call it. Some of those guys with power have that big butt. Think of Cecil and Prince Fielder and those guys. That's kind of the way Abby comes across to me. He's got that big butt that he puts into play. But man, let me tell you what, the guy, when he barrels a ball, man, it rockets off that barrel. Jeez.
Yeah,
he can hit a ball.
He can do some damage. Yeah.
All right, Hub City. Hub City's where there's a guy we got to talk about at Hub City, and we'll do that in just a second. Hub City is 22-20. They are also in first place, which is fantastic for their inaugural season. This is the very first year of the Hub City Spartanburgers. They are 5-5 in their last 10, and they've won 2 games. And tonight, this guy's going on the field, and this is let's get him up here. There he is. David Davalillo. And I say that wrong every time I say it.
No, you said that one right.
I said it right this time. Right now, so far this year, he's 2-0 with a 1.08 ERA. He's got 45 strikeouts in 33 1/3 innings, and he has got a .72 whip. I mean, this guy has lived up to the hype that Fenstermaker talked about. Every year, Fenstermaker we'll ask him who's the guy no one's talking about. This year he said David Davalillo. Last year it was Mitch Bratt, who we had kind of fallen off.
It was Rosario.
Oh, no, Rosario, year before. That's right. Rosario last year, who we didn't really know. And look what Rosario did. He became a top 100 player. David Davalillo's on his way to being a top 100 in Major League Baseball. There's just no doubt about it. His last outing, he pitched 7 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts again. This guy's a stud, man.
Well, he comes from a baseball family, but you mentioned the 45 strikeouts. He's got 6 walks. That's pretty good stuff right there. And you throw what you do. What am I trying to say here? Do what you do best and be excel at that, and then let the rest of the stuff fall into place. Develop it as you develop, and it's pretty good, commanding, knowing how to pitch, he is now just popping on the radar. He is a little older. He's 22. I would suspect though that he's going to be moving up pretty quickly.
If he keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah, it's like so dominant that he needs another challenge. Maybe the challenge is, hey, go ahead and keep doing this. If you can keep doing this, then maybe you'll get moved up. But his splitter's his best pitch. Fastball, it's not like a Rosario fastball. It's not threatening 100 miles an hour, but he commands it, and he's got a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. So there's some deception with the fastball, slider, more of a sweeper, I guess, curveball, but it's not a power package, but it looks like he knows how to pitch. And so he's got a chance to be in the majors. Not this year. No, but eventually. Yeah.
He's going to be, if he keeps doing what he's doing, yes, he's going to be in AA for sure some point this year. And that's a stop down that I want to run out and see. This is a kid that's just exceeding at every level. I mean, when Fenstermaker brings him up to us and he's doing what he's doing, I want to go see him in person. Sure. and I can't wait. I need to get out to Frisco. I've been meaning to try to get out to Frisco again. I'm dealing with all this stuff with my son. After next week, we'll be in Austin. It'll get back to regular, and then I'll prepare to be an empty nester when we send him off here in August. Let's go down to Low A Hickory. They're 20-21. They're in 4th place. They are 5-5 in their last 10. They did win last night. That's still this is kind of where we always see the Low A team. At some point, the pitchers are doing well, and then the hitters aren't, and then the hitters are doing well, and the pitchers aren't. I mean, it's just where it's not about stats, and it's not about where they end up. There, it's about get your innings, get your work, do your stuff.
Yeah, and these are a lot of young guys are in Hickory. There's just no other way around it. Now they do have some older college guys like Jabril Easley, who keeps pitching well. He's probably due for a promotion. But that's where you also find Caden Scarborough, who's the young kid and kind of the hot name, I guess it was in spring training this year. Still monitoring Brock Porter, who's had a little bit of a I think he's allowed a run in 4 straight, if I'm not mistaken. And but the batting average is still respectable. Still working as a reliever. I'm looking to see if that changes.
What's the walk to strikeout?
It's he's had 31 strikeouts in 24 innings. So, that's okay. The velocity has picked back up. Walks, he's walked 13. He's also hit 7. So he's put some guys on base, but that's all right. That's all right.
Created traffic.
At least he's out there and throwing and getting the feel and trying to get back on track. So that's good. And still somebody to watch. Still, the Rangers sunk a lot of money into him. So they're not going to give up on him anytime soon.
Well, before we get out of here, we'll just kind of recap where this minor league organization is right now. They've got a couple that are graduating out. That's Leiter and Rocker who are graduating out. They're not going to be there much longer, who were kind of at the top. Walcott's the highest ranked one, and he's right now he's in the top 10 overall in Major League Baseball. There are some that project when the guys ahead of him graduate up to the big leagues, and starting next year, he might be in the 1 or 2 or 3 spot up there in all of baseball, which is obvious. I think David Davalillo is one that also has a good chance to jump into that top 100 if he continues to do what he's doing, especially up at the AA level. He continues to put up numbers close to what he's doing. A sub-3 ERA, a lot of strikeouts, and not a lot of walks. That's the main thing. He's another guy and a pitching prospect you can see that's going to do well. Other than that, top 100 players, you got some guys that need to step up a little bit. They're not there. There's some very young guys that are you got Paulino and stuff like that, but they're not there. Is there Arizona Complex League? Is there anybody standing out there?
Well, you mentioned Paulino Santana. He's actually hit a couple homers, which I think is more than he hit last year.
Yeah.
And Yolfran Castillo is really well thought of. He's batting .327, but he's still not generating a ton of power. The power needs to come before he can be considered a like top flight guy. But he's probably a top 10 Rangers prospect right now,
right?
Depending on who's doing the ranking. And Santana, he's getting on base. He's hitting fine. He's the guy to watch. I mean, he was their big signee, and 24. So keep your eyes on him.
All right, guys, that's the way we're going to end it today. A big thanks to Keith Jones II for joining us. Going down the bus leagues for Keith, for Jeff, for B. Thanks for being a part of this one. Until next time, guys, we'll see you at the yard.